Hey Tech, sisters and brothers, Proof B here, and I'm in the dark. Ooh. But I just wanted to do this video right quick because this brother, as you can probably look at me and tell, I'm from what you might call the old school. Like, I grew up in the 60s and 70s with Muhammad Ali when they were still alive, and I seen these people like in person, Muhammad Ali and who y'all call Malcolm X, um, Malik El Shabazz, etc., etc. That's the people I grew up with. So the brother I'm about to play bring me back to those days, because there ain't too many people out here willing to go to they schools and then come out like, yo, hands of power to the peoples. You understand? There's not too many of us left. I don't have the fame that he has, but I'm trying to. Well, let's just listen to the brother Dr. Umar Johnson. It's one of my favorite people right now. I was literally, before I got my land and stuff, I was thinking about, when he was talking about putting a school together, and everybody's like, oh, he's out there with dancing girls. He's telling you what's happening to your children in this goddamn school system. And Negroes is talking about the type of women he hang out with. Who gives a fuck? Let's play the brother and see what he's talking about.
When you're speaking and you're talking about change in our community, like I would like to know like who's your target audience, because I just don't believe the people in the hood, the poor people, people who don't have much means, have the ability, the huge ability to change this whole stratosphere what we're going through. So I believe that the people who are at the elite have the ability to change by pumping resources back into the community. So I hear you speaking with much enthusiasm, but I always just want to know who you're actually talking to help with this change.
Libation to the ancestors.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
My answer would be the target audience is the whole community. It's those on the bottom, it's those at the top, it's also those that are in between. Going back to your point of wealth, one of the biggest things I see, and I'm coming from the psychological side, we're probably the only group in America, the only cultural group who does not believe in intergenerational financial planning. Black folks, whether we poor or rich, we do not plan for our grandchildren's success.
Right.
We plan for ours and maybe our children. But being a therapist, I end up working with white families, European, Jewish, Latino, all types of people come to therapy. And one of the biggest differences I noticed between us and them is they don't consider themselves to be financially set unless their grandchildren's grandchildren are set. So if you ask them, are you wealthy? They don't answer it from a first person perspective. In order for them to tell you that they're wealthy, they must feel that they have enough assets in order for their grandchildren's grandchildren to eat off of their estate.
That's what the Bible say.
We're selfish. We think about ourselves and we think about the next generation. And then when you look at our financial statistics as a people, they're absolutely horrible. We talk about Wilmington, Delaware, the educational outcomes in Wilmington. Well, guess what? We spent $600 million on McDonald's last year, nationally. Black people spent $2 billion on Air Jordans. $4 billion on alcohol. $9 billion on weave and perm for 1 year. With that type of money, why doesn't every child in Wilmington have the prerogative to attend, not a charter school, because they're still public, but an independent African-centered school. Every
I'm a
city in
teacher, and I'm
America
Pope.
should have an independent African-centered school. We spend more
Huh?
at the supermarket
I ain't
and
got no
on our
teeth.
feet and on our body than we do to put information in our children's
Billions
heads. Now,
Negroes
there's
spend.
certain
Billions.
institutions we can't control. You cannot create your own criminal justice system.
I don't
You
agree with
cannot
that.
create your own legal system.
I don't agree with
But
that.
you can create your own school system.
If we have our
so
land-
it's absolutely unacceptable for our boys to be going from preschool to prison when they live in a community that spends $9 billion on hair or $2 billion on sneakers.
$1
or $4
trillion
billion on
a
alcohol.
year.
So I say that to say this. Before we can have any other revolution in the black community, political, economic, family, you got to have a psychological revolution. Until black people change the way we think about ourselves and our future, nothing else changes. Because you can take the slave out of slavery, but only the slave can take the slavery out of himself.
The relationship between black people and white people is based on a power dynamic. Just like the relationship between a man and a woman is based on a power dynamic. The relationship between a parent and a child, a boss and an employee is a power.
Wow. Wow.
When you're speaking and we're talking about change.
Let me go. Since it's only 6 minutes, let me see what this next, what he talking about here. Just 3 minutes. Okay.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde, live in Lansing, Michigan. I wanted to let my Lansing, Michigan Africans know I am in your city for the first time. King Kong Consciousness, Intercontinental Ifatunde, most requested, most relevant, and most revolutionary black scholar. Most requested, most relevant, and most revolutionary black scholar in the world. Most requested, most relevant, and most revolutionary black scholar in the world. I'm in Lansing, Michigan, brothers and sisters. Western Michigan, I'm in the building. That's right, Central Michigan, I'm in the building. I'm standing on the site where Malcolm X once lived. I'm standing on the site where Malcolm X once lived. I'm standing on the site where Earl Little, Malcolm X's father, who was leader of Marcus Garvey's UNIA ACL, stood up against white supremacy in Lansing, Michigan. I'm standing at the site where Garveyite Pan-Africanist Earl Little stood up against white supremacy. It was in Lansing, Michigan, where Malcolm X's father, Earl Little, was murdered. 1931, the white power structure murdered Malcolm X's father, Earl Little, right here, Lansing, Michigan, 1931, for doing the work of African redemption. Malcolm X's mother, Louise Little, used to write for Marcus Garvey's Negro World newspaper. She was lady president for the UNIA ACL. Brothers and sisters, Lansing, Michigan, we talking about Malcolm X, who used to live right where I'm standing. Earl Little used to live right where I'm standing. Louise Little used to live right where I'm standing. So I'm dedicating today's speech. I'm dedicating today's speech in the loving memory of Malcolm X's father, Malcolm X's mother, and El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X himself. It was from Lansing, Michigan, where Malcolm X's father was murdered. Lansing, Michigan, where they broke up Malcolm X's father. Right here, Lansing, Sunday, March 19th, we are at the Epic Center, Kalamazoo Mall. Sunday, March 19th, we are at the Epic Center, Kalamazoo Mall from 1 until 5 p.m. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, at the site of the Malcolm X house, the UNIA Garveyite Earl and Louise Little home in Lansing, Michigan. I'm in the building. It's going down. It might be cold, but I'm bringing the heat. It might be cold in Lansing, but I'm bringing the heat. It might be cold in Central Michigan, but I'm bringing the heat. It might be cold in Western Michigan, but I'm bringing the heat. I'm in the building. Get your brother, get your mother, get your sister, get your niece, get your nephew, get your frat brother, get your soror, get your co-worker, get the college students. Pull up today, 730 Maple Street, 4.
All right, well, I guess most of your black people are not in Michigan. I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of black people in Michigan. But anyway, I just stumbled across that, but since he mentioned Malik El Shabazz, I will end this video saying that on May 19th, 2023, I will be having the grand opening of Melolan, Wakanda of the West. Okay, and it will be a camping and learning eco retreat. You come out, you camp out, you cook out, you smoke out, but it's about getting out of these cities and learning how to do for self. So the theme of that retreat is how to be free. And that particular one is going to be a whole series, but that particular one, we're starting off with how to become the bank. So I'll put the links down below, and if you want to know, then you will go, and it's time to do for self and kind. I'm out. Peace. And the old man got to find the button. Where's the... oh, is that the button?